Hello and welcome to the Local Pundit. We are here today for the final team review. We are talking about now the favourites to win the league, the three teams that we think will definitely win the league. It's just a matter of which one. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome to your members only show. Hello, boys.
How we doing?
Hello.
So it's really just about now, Ipswich, Leicester and Wrexham. Which one of these three teams is going to win the league?
Wrexham, obviously.
How did you first? Birmingham to get relegated.
There you go. I like it. Where's John? And on that bombshell, let's get out of here. The good show. Good show. I like it. Let's go.
Well, after today's signing, if Ipswich isn't in your top three, you're a fool.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah, wow. I mean, and Paddy does have the scoop on that. And also, I did get tagged by Aaron in the Discord about a potential signing for Wrexham, which if it comes off, I will be so happy. But anyway, we will wait and see. So going to be a fun day. Look, I reckon we jump straight into it so that way we can do these teams and then we can cover off any other fun stuff we want to talk about at the end for all of our members. So welcome in, guys. Glad you're all members and paying for this unbelievable value. We'll come up with a new topic next week as the season will be just about upon us. But today it is Ipswich, Leicester and Wrexham. And we're starting off with Ipswich, which is you, Paddy.
It is me. And I've been kind of messing about a bit with all of these teams we have had and saying they're all crap. Not today. This is a team that very well could be winning this league this season. Very good shot at it. And almost certain they're going to come above Wrexham. But hey, there's a second promotion spot, so I'm happy with second. Won't get too greedy. So let's go. Let's have a look at Ipswich. Ipswich have some interesting items, actually, when I started to look through them. So founded, Ipswich Town were founded in 1878 as Ipswich Association FC at a town hall meeting in Ipswich, Suffolk. Doesn't that sound all nice and healthy and communal? Everybody coming together at the town hall meeting. And it was started by T.C. Cobbold of the Brewing Dynasty. Okay. Maybe not so healthy. They stayed amateur until
medicinal ale, Paddy.
I suppose. What else do you do at the local town hall? Do you drink? Why not? They stayed amateur until 1936 and then turned pro and joined the Football League in 38. They were Suffolk's only pro club. They're the pride of a town known for its docks and historic vibes. They are about 200 miles from Wrexham, 3.5 hour drive. So that means we'll probably be flying that one. Why would we drive that 3.5 hours? Nickname is the Blues, thanks to their classic blue kits, or the Tractor Boys, a cheeky nod to Suffolk's farming roots. Ipswich and Wrexham have barely ever come together like most of these. They've been up in the upper echelons and we slid down quite a bit. A key moment, though, did happen in 1968 when Ipswich signed Steve Stacey from Wrexham, who became their first black player in the Football League. So that's an interesting one compared to other teams. So we had a black player before Ipswich did and sold him to them. He debuted in September 14, 1968. Local derbies. Primary rivalry is against Norwich City. It's called the East Anglian Derby. It is pure fire and is dubbed the nickname Old Farm Derby for its agricultural roots, and this is a jab at the Celtic Rangers Old Firm Derby that everyone should be familiar with. Norwich lead 44-42 in competitive matches since 1902. That's pretty tight, considering. Okay. So that's it. They are both in the league together this season, stayed together. They have won quite a few trophies. They've won the first division when it was the main division back in 61-62. They've won the FA Cup in 77-78, beating Arsenal 1-0 at Wembley. They've won the UEFA Cup in 80-81 under Bobby Robson, and they beat AZ Alkmaar 5-4 on aggregate in a tight result. Then other random association of leagues and titles and cups and stuff. The Texaco Cup was one for anyone who knows of the petrol company. Back-to-back promotions is a notable achievement, but we will discuss that later. So their stadium is Portman Road. It's been their home since 1884, so that's fairly long time. It holds 30,000 fans and is Suffolk's football cathedral. It hosts everything from Tina Turner concerts to England matches, with floodlights from 1959.
Tina, one of the hardest working women in music, Tina Turner. Wow, that's fantastic. I love that bit.
I've seen her. I've gone to a concert, the Golden Eye concert. If anybody is actually interested, she put on a great show. Okay, nickname Portman Road, or the Road, and they like to sing Sweet Caroline, apparently.
Oh God, that's a football song everywhere these days.
I know. Okay, recent accomplishments. We will get into managers. We will get into ownership. So in 2007, Marcus Evans held a majority, and he sold to Game Changer 20. This is backed by US investors. We won't worry about the names, but that's 90% and was bought for 40 million at the time. The deal cleared 105 million in debt, and Bright Path Sports added funds to keep them liquid and moving ahead. So bought for 40 million, but cleared debts of 105 million. That is nuts. Yeah. So this, if you dig into all these teams and the amount of debts that are coming and being paid for by the owners, a lot of these guys should be in League One, League Two. It really is quite interesting. And I will dig into that later. I will do some videos on that because that is interesting. Okay, so back to the modern day. Where are we? Yeah, so in the last 15 years, they have mainly been in the Championship, dropped down to League One in 2019-20 season, spent 3-4 years there and then came back up into the Prem and then back down again. So they are bouncing around a little bit, but they have got other history. In the Premiership, they made it to the top tier in 1992 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So that's 3 seasons in a row. Then in the 2001 season and 2, so 2 seasons there. And then most recently last season, they got up there for 1 season. So 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 1 season. And then out again for multiple years. So will they go back up this year? I actually say yes, looking at how serious they are. So that's a big one. They have a manager, Kieran McKenna, who has played 175 matches for them, which is a very long-standing manager compared to the rest of the league, but not as long as Parky. Parky holds the record for the most matches with their current team in the Championship at the moment. And hasn't played a Championship match, obviously, with Wrexham yet. So that will be coming next week. And that's... famous part owner is Mr. Ed Sheeran. We spoke about Tina Turner earlier, but now let's say a word about Ed Sheeran. He has a very small percentage, loves the club, and hangs around a lot, but doesn't really do that much promotion. He has been sponsoring their shirts for multiple seasons for his new albums. Oh, so I mentioned earlier about signings. I haven't done signings yet. So this season, they have signed 4 players before the one today, and that was David Button on a free transfer, Cedric Kipri on loan from Rennes. Then they bought Azor Matusiwa for a reported 11.5 million euro fee from Rennes, and Ashley Young on a free transfer as well this season. And then just popped up today, we have Ipswich have agreed a deal with Middlesbrough for Hayden Hackney for a championship record fee worth more than 20 million. I'm not quite sure what the fee was, highest previous to that, but that now means Middlesbrough is going to have a bit of cash to upgrade their team as well, should they choose to do so. But they are starting to do stuff. They're starting to upgrade a team that was already extremely good, but they did lose quite a few players out after coming down from the Prem. So it's worth mentioning a few of those. So Cameron Burgess went on a free transfer and went to Swansea. Did we mention him in our early?
Yeah,
we did. Yeah,
that was one of
him,
I believe. Yep.
Yeah. Marcus Harness went on a free transfer and went to Huddersfield. I was kind of surprised about that one, actually, going down a league. Didn't think he needed to. Axel Twanzebe went on a free transfer and went to Burnley. Interesting. Stayed in the Prem.
In the Prem,
on a free transfer. How did they let that happen?
I've got a feeling they'll stay up this year too, Burnley. I have a feeling they'll just sneak into stay out of relegation. That's my gut feeling. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah,
parachute up and yo-yo.
Yeah, Sam Morsey went to Kuwait. No report on a fee there. There may have been one.
You'd want to be paid a lot of money.
Massimo Luongo has gone free transfer to Millwall. And then Liam Delap was sold to Chelsea for 35.5 million.
That's not a bad deal.
So Ipswich is loaded, as we can see, because they just spent 20 million of that Delap money.
Yeah.
But they do need to maybe bring in a couple. Now, the rest of their squad are very, very good. So I'm not sniffing at the team they have left, but they have a couple of spots I'm sure they want to upgrade because they want to prep for next season as well.
Yeah, just for reference, if we get Broadhead, he's possibly our best player, and he's a squad player for them. So that just kind of shows you the levels of their squad.
It's like every year we get pulled out of a smaller fish tank and get put into a bigger fish tank, then a bigger fish tank. Now we're in the aquarium that's in the mall in Dubai. But it is like that signing, Paddy, of Hackney is a very good indication of the sort of business that needs to be done now if you're serious about getting an automatic promotion.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, that's yes for the top 2, obviously automatics. However, that little thing called playoffs is going to be a monster if you end up in it, because you can guarantee there's going to be 3 other teams there that will be really significant and very difficult to get through them. 2 out of those 3 to obviously go up. So it wouldn't be unlike us to get into the playoffs. I really doubt we'll get through the playoffs first season if we end up in there. If we sneak in the first place, but who knows? Let's see. Maybe it would be best to sneak up into the Prem when we have 0 shot of staying up there. 0. Because I'd hate for them to push all their cash in, thinking they could survive. It might be nice the first season to go up knowing you have 0 shot of surviving. Just enjoy the season, take the money, come back and reload and be the next Ipswich, ready to go back up again after another solid season.
Yeah. No, good. I mean, look, obviously one of the favourites to win the league this season, obviously.
Yes, because unlike others, they don't have issues.
I wouldn't even say they're one of. I think they are the favorite.
I think they're the favorite because they don't have other issues. Yeah. For me, they don't have other off the field problems and other issues hitting them. Leicester do, certainly.
Yeah. If they don't end up with more than 92 points this season, it'd be I'd be surprised. I think they'll be well above that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Starting to froth at the mouth with the excitement of the season about to kick off. I'm just like, let's go.
The question might be, will a team end up in the playoffs with 90 points?
It's possible. It happened last year.
Happened last season, yes.
It doesn't seem like it happens often.
They didn't get promoted.
Yeah, you just never know. Yeah, that's too rough. Feel bad.
That is tough.
Not really.
And now they're looking at, and obviously, now they're going through that whole thing of the build up for this season, getting their squad right, losing players, signing players, and then and everybody goes back to zero. And some go back to negative something. We don't know what that number is yet. Actually, there's a segue.
Ruh-roh.
But before we go there, so what do we think? So Aaron, you've said the favourites to win the league.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. They any sane-minded person puts them in first position.
And no one on this show.
Yeah, well. Now, look, I'm honest enough to know they might not get first. It's possible. Things happen.
Yeah.
But just on the playing the percentages, they have a very high chance. It's like playing aces. It's like playing aces in Texas Hold'em. You go all in with aces, you're mainly going to win, but not always.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. Injuries, lots of things can happen, but all things being equal, favourites to win the league.
Yeah.
And I guess, then we talk about teams maybe not starting on zero.
Yeah.
They'll start on zero.
They'll start there. It's somewhere along the way they're gonna lose some points.
Yeah.
How many we're not sure yet, but
they might be playing a game of snakes and ladders.
Yeah.
Drop on a snake and
they need to roll double six.
Let's pull you backwards.
Yeah. So obviously, guys, we are speaking of Leicester City FC. So Leicester, we'll start with the basic stuff. About 2-hour drive from Wrexham or so, according to my maps. So not a terribly long drive. I guess I don't know. I guess that for me that's not a terribly long drive. I think some of those in the UK will say that's a long drive. I don't know.
That one.
So yeah, what's that?
That one will be a drive. They'll drive that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be a bus trip for the boys. Boys will take a bus for sure. So the nickname is the Foxes. They were founded in 1884 as Leicester Fosse FC. And I don't know what that is. It doesn't really say why. I don't know what Fosse stood for, but Leicester, and then became Leicester City in 1919. So they've been Leicester City for a long time now. So obviously this is a team that they're a big club. We're getting to where we're talking about big clubs. I can go through. Let me pull that up. Well, first let's just do this. Let's do their honors. So they won the first division / Premier League once. That was in 2015-2016. So they won the Premier League. They were runners up in the first division, 1928-29. Second division, so championship level, They won it in the they've won it as champions 8 different times. In the 1924-25 season, the 1936-37 season, 1953-54 season, the 1956-57 season, the 70-71 season, the 79-80 season, then the 2013-14 season, and then again in the 23-24 season. Runners
we
up.
Get it. They're successful.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Turns out. They were runners up in the 1907-08 season and the 2002-2003 season. Then League One, which they won the playoffs in the second division, 94 and 96. And then in League One, they don't go there very often, but they won it in 2008-2009. FA Cup, they won it in the 2021 season, so just a few years ago. I guess 5 years ago. And then they were runners up in the FA Cup in the 1948-49 season, 60-61 season, 62-63 season, and the 68-69 season. So, they're in and around it. League Cup, they've won it 3 times, once in the 63-64 season, the 96-97 season, and the 99-2000 season. And they were runners up in that in the 64-65 season and the 98-99 season. They've won the Charity Shield twice, 1971 and 2021, and they were runners up in the 2016 season. So, they're obviously a team with a lot of history, rich history. So as far as Wrexham goes, we have played them 8 times. Wrexham have won 1 of those games, drawn three of those games, and lost 4 of those games. So, yeah. There we go. Okay, here we go. Patty did some digging for me. Originally called Leicester Fosse because they were founded in 84 and played their early matches on the field near Fosse Road. Okay, yeah, that didn't come up when I was looking for it. So the term Fosse comes from the Fosse Way, an ancient Roman road that ran through the city and nod to Leicester's Roman heritage. There you go. So that's interesting. That's why it was Fosse. Thanks, Patty. Patty's doing homework for me on the fly. So as far as Wrexham goes, yeah, we've lost. We've only beat them once of the 8 times we played them, drawn 3 and lost 4. The last time we played them was in 1982. That was in the second division, and that was a 0-0 draw. That was in April of 82, and then we lost to them in the 81, September of 81 also. So those were the last few times we played. We basically, the only times we played them in 1960 once, and that was in the FA Cup. We lost to them in that game. And then the other games were all, looks like, another time in the League Cup in the 76 season. And then after that, it was all in the 78, 70, all the years where Wrexham were in the second division. We played them in the league. So basically, the last time we were in the second division, we played them. So back in the second division, we're back playing Leicester again. That's what we get for being good. Now, Leicester, interestingly, have not done a lot in the transfer window. They brought in one named Asmir Begovic. He joined as a free transfer from Everton. So he was on a free. They've had a few outgoings. Daniel Iverson went to Preston North End. Danny Ward obviously came to Wrexham. Jamie Vardy has left the club but hasn't signed for anybody yet. Brad Young went to Bristol Rovers. And Thomas Wilson Brown has gone on loan to Swindon Town. So they've got a few out. I don't think any of those were necessarily super important players to them. obviously Vardy being the exception, but I think they'd kind of made the decision with his age. They were ready to move on. They weren't going to give him another contract. And apparently he still wants to try to play in the Premier League. So we'll see how that goes. Something tells me he'll end up in a championship club though before before the window closes. I don't think he's going to get the move he wants. So yeah. Dewey Jones, I don't think Wrexham has played at the King Power Stadium. Yeah, you know what? I didn't look at the history of the stadium, so I don't know when that was built. That's probably not. If it was built anytime after '82, then we haven't. I actually don't have it. Can you
that should be correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the stadium was called prior to, but yeah. So that's probably right. So there's some of that. Their manager is Marty Cifuentes. I'm not sure if I said that right, but
let's run with that.
Close enough. Marty Cifuentes. Something like that.
Love it.
I've heard it said a few times. I still don't think I got it right, but close enough. He's let's see. Let me pull up. I've got his stats. So, he's coached at several clubs. He started his managerial career at a club called Ruby in the 2013-2014 season, and then St. Andrew in the 2014 season. Then the 2015-2016 season he was at Hospitalet maybe, I don't know. And then at Sandefjord for a couple of seasons. AAB for a season, Hamarby IF. I have no idea where any of these clubs are, guys. I'm just throwing names at you. In the 22-23 season, then in 2023 he made the move to Queens Park Rangers (QPR). I thought he did a pretty decent job there, and I thought he wasn't fantastic. I guess, to be fair, they weren't unbelievable, but I don't think he had a ton of backing, in my opinion. So obviously moved on, got to move to Leicester. I think that's a step up for him. He's probably happy with that move. Leicester, though, elephant in the room. Let's get into this. Obviously have some issues off the field.
Which ones?
Which one? Yeah, no doubt. Which ones? I guess. Obviously, there have been some FFP breaches, and the possibility of a impending breach that I don't know that I don't think they've actually been charged with that one yet. The second one, but the first one they've been charged with. We're just kind of waiting to see what the punishment is. Rumors going around that it could be we've seen 9 points suggested. I've seen 12 points suggested. So it's somewhere it's not going to be a small one, and I'm sure they'll probably argue to get it brought down a little, and maybe they'll knock a point or two off, but I don't think they're going to, it's going to be a significant deduction.
Yeah, the 9 points I feel is pretty accurate just for the base amount that they have gone over, because there is a metric there for how many points for how much you have gone over. So the 9 points seems fairly accurate. Whether or not they're going to try and attach more points on top for not being forthcoming with things, that's probably what they're going to go for, and then whether it gets reduced.
Yeah.
So somewhere between 9 and 12 is most likely, I would guess.
Yeah. So go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, getting it reduced is like arguing with the school teacher why you didn't hand in your homework.
The dog ate it. So in case I'm sure some of our listeners aren't up on the Leicester issues. So one of the things that has happened, so somehow they managed to successfully argue that they were neither in the EFL or in the Premier League last time they were charged, basically for the same infraction. But they were able to successfully argue that they because of the way the rules were set up, it was pretty interesting how that fell out. And so obviously the EFL aren't happy with how that went, and neither are the Premier League. So they've got some splaining to do. And in my best, what's his Ricky from Lucy. I Love Lucy. Leicester, you got some splaining to do. Yeah, that's as good as I can do there. That's an old one. That's beyond Ken's years, even. I bet. I don't even think Ken was watching that show when it was out.
No.
That was enough. Yeah, Ricky Ricardo. Reliable Express has got it. Yeah, Ricky Ricardo. That's it.
Yeah. So the guy who actually helped Leicester do that was Nick DeMarco.
Yeah.
Who was a KC in the UK, and he is known for football. He's all over football regulations, and if you have the money, that's who you get to come in, because he knows all the rules inside and out.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it's wrong in the grand scheme of things, but what lawyers do is they argue what's on the paper.
Yeah.
Rules is rules. If you put a comma in the wrong place, it technically means something different.
Yeah. And
as a lawyer, you're supposed to be able to read the meaning of commas. So he will find the loopholes if you write them.
Yeah. I'm not a lawyer, but I will say when I take my demolition derby car to a derby, I have successfully argued that I was allowed to weld that on there, even though the rules didn't specifically say I could. So I think in every sport, you're looking for an advantage. Everybody's looking for an advantage somewhere. So you get into those rules and be like, well, they said may here instead of have to. And so maybe there's a little leeway there. Yeah, you use their words against them, and I'm sure that's what he did. But yeah, Nick DeMarco, apparently he's a whale of an attorney.
Oh, he's a monster.
Yeah, and I think he's on the team. He was on the team that was part of the Man City case, wasn't he? Wasn't he representing him? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I think he was their representation. So obviously, we're still waiting to see how that comes out. But apparently, he done a decent enough job that it's taken him long enough to try to figure it out.
Let's play a little hypothetical game then with Leicester City. Hypothetically, they get a 9-point penalty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do they finish?
Yes.
Playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll still finish playoffs.
I agree.
My estimation is anything under 15, and they should be able to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they need to have a bad season. Now, of course, an extra 15 points mean you can slip into a bad season quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can slide out of it at that point. But with the firepower they have and the strength of the team, you would still expect them to make 6th place with like a 15 deduction.
Right.
Now, there's potentially a second one coming.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get smacked with a 12 up front, and then they get smacked with another 6 or more at a later stage, it could become extremely difficult to even make the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll just depend. I mean, you'd think, I would think that if they weren't having the issues they're probably good enough to get 85 points or so. You'd think that at least that, and they could probably do better than that. It just depends on how things go. But I think it's fair to say, they could probably get somewhere in that 82 to 85 range fairly comfortably. And then you start doing the math back off of that, they end up somewhere in the 70s. They're probably in the playoffs. Last year, 68 points got you in the playoffs in the championship. Now, I don't expect that to stay like that. Actually, I think the league will be a lot more, it'll be more competitive. I think there'll be more teams scoring more points this year. So I think that threshold will be a little higher. But I still think they should be okay. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, if you consider the 3 teams that came up last season and all survived, and the 3 teams that are coming up this season, with Birmingham and ourselves, I would hope that both Birmingham and ourselves will achieve more than the other teams did last season. So we should be pulling some extra points out. Maybe it's going to end up being from the lower end of the table rather than the upper end, so maybe it won't make a difference, but there is potential there that it should be a little bit lower than last season.
Yeah. One last thing on Marty. I moved on a little quick. I forgot. I did have his win percentage and how many games. He's managed 344 games. They've won 143 of those, drawn 93, and lost 108. And that puts him at a 41.57 win percentage, which, it's not bad. There's a lot of draws in there. So that kind of brings his average down a little bit, but that's not a terrible record for a manager. So I like him. I think he's actually a pretty good manager myself. So I don't think he'll be an issue for them, and I don't think they'll sack him either. It is interesting though. I know we're waiting to see what happens with the points and stuff, but as far as I know, they're not under a transfer embargo or anything at the moment. So it's interesting.
Nothing's happened.
So it's interesting that they've not spent any money yet, and because the one transfer they got in was a free transfer, and he's a 36-year-old goalkeeper. So it's not like they're bringing in anybody big. And I don't think they need to do a lot, but surely you're going to do something. So it's interesting that they've waited so long.
And they think they're good enough with what they got.
This is something we should bring up too. Well, here's the other thing too that we've talked about this previously, Patty. I think on the Champ Chat show, King Power is the ownership group, and they are having financial issues. Obviously it probably is contributing to the fact that they've not spent any money at Leicester. So that's something that, that could be an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And Paul hitting that right on the button, because we now move on to a little team called Wrexham, who we may or may not have heard of. And this one, I must admit, it did make, as the guy that's organised the show, it made it very easy for me to pick this team for me to review.
Yeah. You notice he gave Wrexham to himself.
Yeah. Obviously, okay. So first off, I'm going to start off. They are the oldest club in Wales. So to every other Welsh club out there, respect your elders. Right. No more trash talking. Just a little respect. Read here, Swansea. Getting on to, obviously, we know they train at Collier's Park at the moment. That is sort of something that's coming in the wings. They were founded in 1864. As we all know, it's on the crest. It's all there for everybody to see. We've actually won the Welsh Cup 23 times, which is amazing. So, obviously, being one of the strongest clubs in Wales, even though we did have all that time in the National League, and people can argue in recent years about Cardiff and Swansea. It is probably historically the strongest club in Wales. Our current capacity of the Stoke K-Rus is 10,771. As we all know, that's about to increase. And the interesting part there is it going to increase 5,500 or 7,750, with the application being put in for the extra 2,250 seats. So I have a feeling they're going to do that all in one hit, because it makes much more financial sense to do that straight up off the bat. And if you look at Paddy's background, you got a great look at something that may be coming up there in terms of the new cop end. Now,
what did you see real quick? Did you see that today they did announce that they have put in the application for
they put in the application.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you saw that. Okay. Right.
Yeah, so for the extra 2,250, which is why they've put that in now, because I'm pretty sure they just want to go ahead and do it straight away.
Yeah,
makes so much sense. And thanks, Paddy, for putting yourself out to show that to everybody. Now, the race course actually is the world's oldest international football stadium, for people that didn't know that. So that just means our first international match was played at the race course. And that's the way you sort of describe that. The record attendance at Wrexham is against a little club that Josh likes called Man United. And the attendance that day was 34,445 people.
They're only here for the Wrexham.
Yeah, that's right.
May not be broken again.
Oh, I think it will be. I absolutely think it will be. But it's going to be a few years. There'll be stadium upgrades and it will happen. There you go. I reckon our stadium will eventually end up being somewhere between 40 and 50,000, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so.
Yep, you can disagree with me, but I'm telling you now. Because if you think about it, you've got 7,000. Look, let's call it 7,500 at that end. You can't replicate that at the other end. You're already at 15,000. So yeah, they can definitely get when you look at the two sides. It's whether they want to or not, obviously, with the amount of construction, what that would take to do. Now, in terms of Wrexham, obviously, in terms of ownership, obviously Rob and Ryan now own approximately 85% of Wrexham. No one knows the exact number. And the Allen family own approximately 10%. And then also the holders of Necaxa did a swap with Rob and Ryan, which is Al Tillis and Sam Porter, did a swap of 5% ownership of Wrexham for 5% ownership of Necaxa for Rob and Ryan. So that's how that all got set up, which puts us in our current ownership position and our current financial position, which is quite healthy. As we know, with when the League Two financials came out, all the debts were paid back to Rob and Ryan, who invested $2 million at the start to take ownership. And now they got paid back all their money, plus interest, plus everything they'd thrown in, which, remember, was that 16 million, 15, 16 million roughly, I think it was in the end that they got paid back, because they'd obviously invested more money since buying it, and then that money got paid back with interest. Now we get on to the fun stuff. So obviously, historically, Wrexham, you know, as we all know, spent many years in the National League, and then it has been, obviously, the last 3 seasons, they won the National League, finished second in League Two, and then second in League One, to now sit in the Championship, which is bloody fantastic, I must say. And, you know, and then you look at Parky and his history, which is fantastic. You know, I mean, last season, 27 wins, 11 draws, 8 losses to get us promoted. The season before was 26 wins, 10 losses. So, you know, both seasons he's come up with 26 and 27 wins. Can he replicate that season? That would be an absolute massive achievement, you know, if he could do that. But, you know, 20 wins is 60 points. So, and then you've got to come up with the rest. So I have a feeling it's going to take like a 24 to 25 win season plus draws to put yourself, you know, up there in the playoffs. That's roughly what it's going to take. It's going to take that low 20s up to mid 20s to guarantee yourself probably a playoff position. Because that's sort of roughly the numbers that it's going to take. In terms of signings, now, obviously we had a slow start, as we do seem to do every off-season. But when I then went through and did the list, and I've gone, yeah, we're definitely doing the right business. I mean, we've signed so far Ryan Hardy, Danny Ward, Liberato Cacace, Lewis O'Brien, George Thomason, and Josh Windass are all our confirmed signings so far, which is 6 signings so far this off-season. Then, you know, I can start to talk about the potential signings coming, like Nathan Broadhead, Kiefer Moore, Juan Carlos Portilla, and Connor Cody, you know, however you want to pronounce that. And then Aaron throws me this little curveball of Harry Suter, who is a centre-back, Australian national representative, who I actually picked in the players that I wanted to recruit. And if we got him along with Connor, I mean, I don't see I don't see Dan Scarr and Aaron O'Connell getting a start. In fact, I have to see at least one of them going out as a minimum on loan.
What age is Suter?
Suter's 26 years old.
Okay.
26. He's 198 centimeters. He is the preferred starter for the Australian national team at centre back. He is unbelievable off the set pieces, both in defence and attack. Obviously, because he's so tall, he's like 6'6" or something. Like, he's a massive guy. He's a huge target.
And he's like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
He's as big as Harry all over.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a monster.
And he can move. He's not slow. So, yeah, I think if that would be just an amazing signing off Sheffield United. So, obviously, we're looking at two of their players at the moment. Then, if this is true, him and Kiefer Moore. It's sounding like Kiefer Moore is going to be a done deal. But, nothing's done until it's signed. So, we'll see.
I can give you just a quick update. Obviously, I won't read the full story, but Anthony Joseph did post he's a reporter. He posted a story this evening. Says Wrexham are close to agreeing a double transfer swoop to sign Leicester City's Connor Cody and Sheffield United forward Kiefer Moore. Obviously, I haven't read into. He posted that link on Twitter. He's got a full story if anybody wants to check it out. But sounds like both those deals are probably really close. I wouldn't be surprised.
Did they go into Sheffield United and just go, he's tall, we'll take both of them?
Yeah.
But it shows the level that we're looking for, we're aiming at taking a player from Sheffield United, who barely missed out on automatics last season, Leicester City, who've just come down, and Ipswich, who've just come down.
Yeah. And we did take a Sheffield Wednesday player as well.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I know.
He was running away, but yeah.
I think they're all running away.
We just pulled up with the white van, opened the side door, and grabbed him.
He jumped in.
Get in here.
Who wants to jump in? Yeah. There's a great comedy skit right there. Yeah. Wrexham van pulls up. Opens.
Out of curiosity, has anybody watched the video he put out on YouTube the other day about his time at Wednesday? I haven't watched it.
I have seen some of them, yeah.
Okay, so
go on.
Yeah, go. I was just gonna say I saw he posted something. It was like a 45-minute video, and I haven't watched it yet, so I wasn't sure if he said anything interesting.
That might be the one. Now, this is just my brain. It was quite funny. He had a story about travel, and he was saying that the long travel times and stuff like that. That they have this cool bus, and they have sleeping spaces for the entire team. It's a sleeper bus.
Wow.
And I was saying, yeah, that sounds cool and all, but we just get a plane. It's like, if you need to go far enough that you want the players to sleep, just hire a plane.
That's true.
I saw that. I saw today a couple. I mean, obviously, there's stuff coming out about Wednesday, but I saw something that they were having. The players were looking into booking their own hotels for their opening round game. And they apparently, by the end of the season, last season, the showers weren't hot in the ground. Like, apparently they're having issues there. What a mess that club. I don't know how we got on to Wednesday, but what a mess.
Yeah. Let's get back off them.
Sorry.
We did make that mistake that actually Harry Suter is actually contracted to Leicester City.
Yeah, he's
just
Leicester
United. But yeah, so sorry, that wasn't. We misspoke there. But I think that with all these signings, like if we can get the next 3 to 4 signings to finish off the transfer window, that is basically a full starting lineup. So there was a question way back earlier in the chat about who would be our starting lineup for the first weekend. I can't honestly say that because, I mean, look, the guys are going to play this weekend. They did the behind closed doors this week, where apparently we won 3-0 and Ashfield scored a goal and yada yada. Not that I think Ashfield's going to be starting. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that obviously we're going to play this weekend. It'll be interesting to see the lineup, who starts, how they perform together, and then this team's going to look totally different to what we're used to.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
I think we will. It'll be. I mean, I know we talked about it at length last night. And, in the last few shows, I'm really interested to see how we line up and to fit these players in, especially if we get Broadhead in and if we get Moore in. It'll be really interesting to see how he lines us up.
And at least one of those two centre backs.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the Cody deal is pretty damn close. I'd say that one's for sure happening. It's going to be interesting. It's just, it's so interesting trying to figure out what the team's going to look at like right now, with so many attacking options when we don't play, like we don't even play with 3 attackers. We play with 2 attackers, or at least we have. You know what I mean? So it's like, we've got so many.
Yeah, I've been looking at that as well. And I think potentially we are talking about moving to 3 attackers.
I feel like it's possible.
I think the obvious maybe way to do it is our Sheffield Wednesday boy is more midfield. He counts as a midfield player, and he stays with them when needed. So he's the one who folds back into midfield. Why am I blanking on his name?
Windass, Josh Windass.
Windass. There you go, Windass. So I think Windass will pull back just a little bit to cover midfield and have 2 in front of him. So potentially a 1-2, 2-1, whatever, different formations at different times. And then if Windass isn't playing or isn't available, we might have the 5 solid midfield, in which case we go to either a 1-1 or a flat 2 up front instead.
Look, one thing that is for certain is our squad is going to have a higher skill set, more speed, and more options now than what we had last season, which we needed. And it's going to be just fascinating to watch the evolution of this squad now and how we evolve, not only in the squad who starts, but also in how the squad plays. It's going to be great. Look, I think I'm going to see something totally different to what I watched at the Tour Down Under, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, we're all just speculating. I'm excited. I don't know if everybody else is. I'm super excited about Saturday. I want to see what we do Saturday. See if we do line up in something just a little different.
And see some of these guys playing together.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I think if we do get the 2 in, possibly tomorrow, they probably wouldn't play Saturday. But I doubt you wouldn't think they would. It's possible, but I do think though we'll see something much closer to what he's thinking he's going to do for our first game of the season, though. Because this is our last warm up. I feel like we're going to see what he's got in mind, or at least something very close to what he's wanting to do. So we'll see. It'd be interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm super excited.
The midweek game that happened behind closed doors definitely would have been what we would have expected to see next week.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, there may be a little smoke and mirrors on the weekend, but not much, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, probably not too much.
Elizabeth's asking about how we can stream the game. It is apparently going to be available on the club's website, but they always bring it out last minute, which blows my mind. Like, even if you just had a teaser that said, upcoming, we'll be here, it will be this much, even if you don't have the ability to sign up, even to say you can only sign in, 6 hours before the game, at least then, we would know.
It's not listed yet, but it is there. There is on the website. It says it will be streamed. It's not. They haven't listed it yet. So Patrick,
I think someone in the Discord put up the link for where it is. I think it's one of these side systems that I follow again. Probably. That it's not in the main channel section, and it's not going to be there. So a mini site or whatever the hell they call it.
Okay.
So I think it might already be there. Yeah.
I'm just going to go hunting tomorrow. So I hope it's there.
I'll drop the Discord. I assume most subscribers.
Tia's saying I've already bought a pass. So Tia, throw that link in the
okay.
It's in the Discord.
Okay, I didn't see it. Yeah, I missed it then.
I'll go look. Hang on.
That's cool. That's good. Well, I mean, look, we're basically there. We're almost at an hour. Josh, you did the show earlier today, release of the third kit. Thoughts on the third kit, boys?
Love it.
Love it.
I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I didn't like it. And then I saw a better picture, and I don't hate it as much. It's growing on me. I kind of like it now. I'll tell you what throws me out. The red is what I don't like as much. I think if the red would have been a dark blue or a black or something like that, I think it might have looked better. But it's growing on me. It's growing on me for sure. Yeah. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I do like the other two kits better, probably.
Yeah, I like the detail in the blue, the dragon caricatures.
The detailing. See, that was the thing. In the initial picture, I couldn't see that. You couldn't see what was in there. Like, just I don't know. It was just really poor. Some of the pictures they put out, and then somebody took a picture in the club shop, I think, of a close up, and it was like, oh, that looked a lot better. It looks a lot better. You see the details.
Not that I'll buy the shorts, but the detail in the shorts to match in with the jersey is fantastic. Piping that. Esteban asked earlier, will there be a watch along? Josh is planning a watch along for this match. I do know that. I'm excited to get this started and actually get us back into a routine. But then after that, we have let's face it, this was the last in this series of teams in the championship. We will come up with a new members theme for next week. I know there is going to be a talking tactics show. I'm excited to see that coming up. And I mean, look, the games are about to start. So guys, stay tuned. I mean, what is the one thing that both of you are most excited about at this stage of the season? What are you most looking forward to? Is there a player? Is there
the rest of the window? I'm excited to see who else we bring in. Because even if we bring in all the ones that are rumored, we're going to bring in more. You bet your hind end. We will bring in at least one more before the end of the window, and it'll be a big one. I think we're at the point now where
one sec.
Big ones.
Well, people are getting the pass. That's good.
Elizabeth Jones is asking where the link is. I have posted the link in this stream. If you go back up a little bit, it's tour.wrexhamafc.co.uk. I went into Discord and dug it out for you guys.
Thanks, Paddy.
A little bit.
Yes. Thank you, Paddy.
What a guy. So, Paddy, is there...
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm starting to become very comfortable that we're not going to be worried about relegation. So what I'm excited for is to see exactly how high we can climb this season.
Yeah.
You know, how close we can stay towards the playoff end. And for how long? Now, look, if we end up completely mid-table all season, no pressure, no stress, we win some, we lose some, that's fine. First season in the championship.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a real playoff push for most of the season, to be close enough to be chasing sixth, you know, for a good chunk of the season to make it entertaining, even if we don't make it by the end of the season. But I'm interested to see where we end up.
So, Paddy, the last couple of seasons, like you've always given that 10 games is a good measure, you know, where we are after 10 games. So where would you hope us to be after 10 games?
15 points.
15 points. And where do you
as a comfortable position.
And where do you think
in this league? That'll put us comfortably mid-table.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And actually higher than mid-table as well, to be honest. 1.5 points, which that would be, will get you just, 6th, 7th, 8th, depending. When it's that early in the season, you'll be close. It'll be coming down to a couple of goals and a couple of points here and there. But yeah, you'll be chasing playoffs and above halfway.
Aaron's excited about still more the transfer news. Paddy's excited about this first run and see where we sit in the table. So it's a nice transition. We go from Aaron's wants to Paddy's wants. I think this is fantastic. I
want to see a load of the other team fans going ape shit when we're sitting nicely at 8th, 7th, 8th. Beating the odd really big team, comfortably taking out some of the lower teams, and everybody going, fucking Wrexham.
Okay, so and
they're gonna start pulling out all the usual ones, buying the league, and all this.
Disney FC.
Yeah, with money that the fans have given the club.
Yeah,
like we've already spoken about it a bit. You go and look at all these teams, and you take away all the money that the owners are actually putting in and spending out of their own pocket. They deserve to be down in League Two. This is why, I give them a little bit less respect than maybe other people do. They respect the name. Oh, they've been here for years. Okay, they have been here for years, a lot of them, but it's Daddy's pockets.
It's Paddy's fighting words.
So that's why they lose a little bit of respect from me, some of them.
Yeah, totally agree.
This is great, guys. I mean, look, we're right on the cusp now of the championship season starting. What are we, 8 days away? It's, we got the last warm-up, the last official warm-up game this weekend. They'll do a bit behind closed doors next week in readiness for Southampton. I just can't wait. I'm frothing at the mouth. I am. I did see it early in the chat. I'm like a kid before Christmas. It's all going to get going. I just think, I know everyone's excited. I'm sure everyone's excited as I am. Aaron's getting all his excitement now because this is transfer season and it is his favourite time. Actually, Aaron, in this transfer season, did you get anybody? Did you pick any of these?
I got what? Oh, the ones that are being rumored now?
Well, no. Well, the ones that have already been signed.
Oh, I had our first signing. I had actually I had a few. I've had a few, I think.
Brian Hardy was the first one.
Yeah, O'Brien. I had Hardy. Yep. Was there any others?
You've had a good off season.
Windass, I'll tell you what, I would have absolutely had Windass because Windass would have been my number one. But right before we went to do that show, when we were doing the prep for that show, he signed Sheffield Wednesday, and this is right before they started having all their financial issues. Mm-hmm. They triggered a clause in his contract to extend him for a year. And I was like, it was pretty odd. Like, they made it clear at the time, like, he's not going anywhere. He's staying because he wasn't happy about it. Because he'd made a couple posts on Instagram that were like, get me out of here type, like, just, gifts and stuff like, players do, where they'll throw some weird stuff out there. So like he was wanting out anyway, and they had extended his contract. So I was like, well, I'll leave him off because it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere. But he would have absolutely been on my list if it wasn't.
And it's funny because you've had a very successful offseason. I definitely went more international in terms of the players I went hunting for. So I have not had anyone yet. But after Aaron's little leak, I may get one very late in the window.
Might get one.
Yeah, which I'd be stoked about. But I mean, it is like, it gets harder and harder to pick these guys.
I mean, to be fair though, you did get one for Birmingham, so that's good. Your real team, the team that you really
I was very upset. I was very upset that they signed him. And if he turns out to have a stellar season and tears,
he will too. He will.
I'm just going to be so annoyed.
He'll score a hat trick against us, I'm sure.
He better not. I want the Macca to get in there and take him out. So, boys, upcoming, Josh will obviously have daily show. We've got the Talking Tactics. We'll come up with a new topic for members only. I love the fact that we can do some sort of media stuff and we don't have to hold back because it is sort of a little bit behind the curtain. So, and we appreciate all the fans coming in and watching the members chat. And welcome to, I noticed Victor got a members subscription and he was in very early.
Yep.
Yeah, so nice to see you here, Victor. Any last words, boys, before we get out of here today?
Oh, I'm good. Be excited. I'm excited. I kind of feel like we're gonna get a couple in tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm starting to not like the amount of time it's taken to continue to announce people. I'm slowly starting to get edgy again. I'm like, guys, come on, just
Nervous.
get it done. Just get it done.
Well, is it taking longer, Paddy, or are we just getting the
Oh no,
rumors?
probably not. No.
You know?
Yeah, if we go back and start looking at the dates, probably not.
Because I know we've started talking about more the rumors of transfers on the show, more than just announcing official transfers, which, potato, it depends which way you want to do it. But obviously, everybody's out there doing it. One thing I will say is the ground's come along great. The pitch is looking fantastic. Can't wait to see us starting on that pitch. I think the players are going to love it, getting to play on such a quality surface. And,
I want that centre-back spot in, at least one. That first spot to upgrade.
Take both of them. Get me Harry Suter, and I'll get one signed in the transfer window, and I'll be happy. So, guys, actually, Aaron, take us out today.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And me and Patty delivered some really good, hard-hitting info. Ken, as usual, waited to the last minute to do his homework. But he did okay, I guess. But on that bombshell, we'll see you all soon.
See you all later.